AJE96, and today I shall show you a tutorial on how to make a dice. So we've got 6 repeaters here, all on the top setting. You're going to have an extra repeater on the end of each 2, and then you're going to put a block on the one which only has 1 repeater coming out of, and then a block above that to branch upwards to the second floor. Cool. On the bottom one you're going to have the repeaters leading from the one next to it into the previous one until you get to the bottom one, and a similar kind of thing to the top one. Basically the ones at the bottom are going to be all the odd numbers, and the ones at the top are going to be all the even numbers. So this one by here is going to be number 1. So we're going to have to link that up to the middle one. So I'm going to bring my redstone over here and then branch off a little branch from the middle one, going down to the floor by here, and then lead that up to there, so then when that is active the middle block is active. Cool. Now what I'm going to do is the middle one by here is going to be 3, so it's going to be 3. So you want this one to connect to 1, which it already is, and you want it to connect to 2 other ones diagonally. So what you're going to want to do is, you couldn't just go around it, but I think it'd be easier just to go under it, so here I am going under it, and I'm just going to come out behind it now. Cool, so I'm going to want one going off to the side by here, and then I'm going to want the other one going up to the corner over there. So what I'm going to do is, to make life easier for me on the 4, I'm going to do this, go back on myself, and then go forwards again. That way I can just link up the 4 to this arc by here, and then it'll bring 2 corners which aren't the other 2. So all I need to do is just link the 4 up to the 3 and the 2, which would make things easy. Cool, so I'll just bring that by there, link that down here, and that's going to link all the way back to here. Now to make sure the redstone carries to this end, just put a repeater by here, and to make sure it doesn't go backwards into the 1, I'll have to do something. So let me just think. I can't put it by there, because then I'll stop the 4. So I'm going to try and put it underneath by here. Cool. And once I've done that, then if you see, when I link that up to the 4, it'll do the 2, but it won't do the middle one. And when 3 activates, it'll do the middle one because it's connected to 1, and the 2 we have just linked up there. Cool. Now we're going to do number 2. Speaking of 2s, number 2, and number 2 is going to do the opposite diagonal ones to 3. You can do the same ones, but it makes life a lot easier if you do the opposite ones. So yeah, let's just go up to these. Cool. And now we're going to link that down. Nice. So once that's connected, basically you're going to want ones in the opposite corner to that now. So bottom corner over there. Just get some wall, whatever you're using, and link the 2 over to that corner. Just trying to find the easiest way to do that. Cool. Get it onto the ground by here, and just link it across the floor. This will also be good as it'll make it easy to connect the 5 to, because the 5 is effectively going to be the 2 and the 3 connected. So there you go. Cool. There we go. Nice. And here we go on number 5. 5 is just going to connect to the 2 by there. It's already connected to 3 because I did that at the beginning. Right, so now we've done 1, 2, 3 and 5. So just putting these repeaters by here to make sure the pulse doesn't lose power. Nice. Cool. Now here's number 4. Number 4, as I said before, we're going to link it up to this arc by here on the 3, so when it activates those 2, and it's already connected to the 2, so all we need to do is just link this up to here, and then that is number 4 done. So now all we have left to do is number 6. Nice. Just gonna, I want to lower really, there we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to link these up to the side middle ones, the middle row side column kind of things over here, and then just gonna put a repeater by here to make sure it doesn't lose power. Cool. And then what's going to happen is it's going to go up here into that side one, and then you're going to make a little bridge to hop over the middle one. You don't need the middle one on the 6, and then you're just going to connect it to the other side one here. Cool. Now that should be it all done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's test it out using a redstone torch. So this will be number 1. Good, cool, that's number 1 done. And now let's test out number 2. Cool, that works. Test out number 3, and so on. I did this quite well, I think. You can do it other ways, obviously, but I mean, if you're just going to use binary redstone torches, it might be slightly simpler. But I suppose using 2x2 pistons to push out might give you more space to work with. Multiple different ways of doing this. You can have cross-hatched ways where you cross 2 different redstone lines away from each other, and then put torches on the ones you want active on each redstone line. But that's normally one which you want to use a lot of height to and not much width. This one doesn't use up much height. Cool, so they all work. Don't need the top one and the bottom middle one, but I don't know why I put them there. Cool, just gonna cover them up now. Right, so after this we're gonna get on with the thing that randomizes it. Pretty simple. Basically we're gonna have a timer and then a button which the player will push to activate the beat, which depending on what part the timer is in depends on what number it chooses. So the randomness is actually made by the player. This is the simplest kind of dice you can make. You can probably make much more random and complex dice, but I thought I'd do a simple one. Cool. Here we are, going to start on phase 2 of this tutorial now. Just going to show you, here's the buttons which are going to activate it. So we're going to dig down here and link these buttons up to behind the scenes. It's going to do it every 12 and probably 10 on the last one if I calculated this correctly. But yeah, what's going to happen is basically these are going to link behind the scenes, and then we're going to have a memory gate which has the cooldown system. You know that cooldown system? To see how long we want the number to be displayed for, and then that cooldown system is going to link into a bunch of repeaters, which is 1 block away from those repeaters by there. And then what's going to happen is there's going to be a little circuit running in a circle in between there, which some blocks will be full and some blocks will not be full. You'll just see what I mean in a moment as I make it. So here's the memory gate. You know how it is. If one side gets activated, it stays activated, and the other side then gets turned off. So that's how the cooldown system is based on, if you've seen that. I don't know if you have. But we're basically going to create something similar to that. So we're going to have all those repeaters by there, which is going to send a beat, and we're going to link that arc by there, the one that's normally off, over to here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to link some of the repeaters back down from there into this block by here, the block with the off those redstone torch on it. Cool. And now we go over here and we're going to want to make a piston which will shut off the mechanism as it activates, so the numbers don't just change while they're being displayed. So it's going to put a sticky piston by here with a block of wool, and then this will act as a choke point for the redstone. Nice. So we're just going to have a little clock here. You're going to want to have 1 beat in every 4 here. And how I'm going to activate it is, well, you know when you start a server, how the clock, like, you know, you need to reset the clock. There's a mechanism which you can make, so then you just press a button and it will reset it for you with a 1 beat time. Also stops the whole messing around with destroying the redstone in precise timing and whatnot. But yeah, basically you're going to put some torches by there, you're going to have that one link into the other one, and both be activated from behind. One of them is going to be activated 1 beat like later, one is going into the beat powering the system, and then you're just going to do a little thing with it. It won't activate when you're on it, but it'll activate when you come off it. So there we go. And then there's 1 beat going around every 4 like off beats, or 1 on beat every 3 off beats or whatever. But yeah, so here what we're going to want is we're going to want a circle, a chain basically, a chain of blocks moving around in circles. and we want some blocks which can't pass redstone through, such as glass and half blocks and blocks like that, and we're going to have 2 blocks which can pass redstone through, which will be alternating on either end of the cycle. Cool, so we've got our main pistons which will push the blocks around in a circle, and now we shall link them up to the correct timings to get optimum speed so that it's more random and the player will find it harder to guess what time to get certain numbers at. Cool, so then we're just going to link that up to the piston up there, do a little link to the other ones now. Cool, over here. Now we're going to want to put like 2 repeaters on this arc, 1 repeater going into the top piston and 2 repeaters going into the bottom piston by here. So what we're going to want is redstone on here, do 1 of the repeaters on this arc there, 1 repeater going into that thing, 2 repeaters going into the bottom piston, connect that up and then put another repeater in the middle arc place, and then connect those repeaters down here. Cool, so now they're on and off like crazy, going on and off like crazy. Cool, so what you're going to do is I'll just turn it off now by activating it due to the piston pushing the wall and making sure it stops, testing that, and while I'm testing it I shall put the blocks in position. Now you're going to want these blocks on opposite end of the circuit, so they're the correct distance apart. There should be 3 like non-redstone passable through blocks in between each of them, so then they'll orientate like that, so there's always 1 in the circuit at a time, and apart from like very small occasions of time, but yep. Cool, and that will determine, depending on where that block is when it gets activated, will depend on what number will turn up, so that's how it's random. It's random depending on what time you step on it, and it's going around pretty fast. I'm not sure if you saw, but it's going around pretty fast, so it is pretty random. There we go, got a 6, got a 1. You know, it's quite a good mechanism if you want to create a casino or a game of Monopoly or whatever. So, hope you liked my video. Like and subscribe by 02AJE96.